Thursday, March 4th, 2021. This is the Early Edge powered by SportsLine. I am the coach, and we are in your feed before 11 a.m. every single day. And we do it all in 10 minutes or less. Now, we always try to educate and entertain, and this is the educational part. There's going to be times when you do this 7 days a week, 365, that you're going to have slightly cold streaks. We've had 2 or 3 days of that, but relax. It's a long play. We always preach money management and staying within yourself. So with that being said, don't forget, every single day, go to our YouTube page and enter our perfect parlay contest. Give your best bet. If one of our cappers goes perfect on the show, we'll give away, you'll be eligible for a year-long subscription to SportsLine. And we've given away a ton the last couple of weeks. But let's bring in our cappers. Nobody takes their jobs more seriously than these two right here. Right below me, he's got Chief somewhere close. He is him squared. Good morning, Mikey.
Good morning, Coach. Yeah, Chief is standing here on deck. Last night, a little rough. We got all the closing line value in the world with Luka being out, as we predicted here on the show. Unfortunately, it didn't work out, but consistently beating the market like that is really all you can try to do in the NBA.
Yeah, these are human beings playing real sports, and I think sometimes people forget that. But we do have a lot of new gamblers that are playing with us now, so welcome to all of you. It's all about knowledge. It's power. Maestro, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Coach. You know what I hate, Coach? I hate going 0-3 on the show, and when I went 4-4 on SportsLine and hit my only NBA play of the day, but picked the wrong ones for the show. Let's get it back today, guys.
Let's go. We tell you people all the time, if you follow SportsLine, you get all of the picks. You get all of the cappers. You get all of the simulations. So it pays to be a SportsLine member. Here we go. Time for our storylines that could affect the betting lines today. M Squared, you're up first.
All right, the biggest storyline here is it's simply the last day of the first half of the NBA season. So they're off tomorrow for the NBA All-Star Game. That's going to lead to a lot of questionable players looking for that extra day of rest and people who are injured potentially not playing. So for the Los Angeles Clippers, Kawhi Leonard is questionable, Marcus Morris doubtful. For the Toronto Raptors, the entire team is essentially out. Anunoby, Van Fleet, Siakam, Patrick McCaw, Malachi Flynn, all out tonight. For the Detroit Pistons, DeLon Wright and Blake Griffin remain out. Josh Jackson and Jeremy Grant, who did not play last night, are both questionable again tonight. And then on the other side, the Knicks, Derrick Rose was a late scratch in their last game. He is questionable tonight, while Elf Payton remains doubtful. The Denver Nuggets are still dealing with a plethora of injuries. It looks like Gary Harris, Campazzo, JaMychal Green, Paul Millsap, RJ Hampton, all going to miss this game tonight against the Pacers. And then probably the biggest news of the day that's going to impact quite a bit here is going to be for the Miami Heat. Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo are both listed questionable tonight in their matchup with the Pelicans.
We can't emphasize it enough. There's never been a more important year to make sure you know who's playing in every single game, because I've done it before. You look at that Boston-Toronto game, you go, 8 points, I'm all over the Raptors. And you don't look to see who is playing. Knowledge is power. All right, Maestro, what do you have for us today?
Well, Coach, terrible injury yesterday with Colin Gillespie on Villanova. Looks like a serious knee injury. MRI today would just be devastating for him, for their team, and for their tournament hopes. And also some early news today. We have an 11 a.m. start in the A-10. Blake Francis, Richmond's leading scorer, not on the court first like he normally is, shooting the ball. He may not go today.
All right, very good. Real quick also, we're giving away 5 year-long subscriptions to SportsLine over as part of our Apple Podcast promotion. If you go to Apple Podcasts, leave us a 5-star review. In that review, tell us who's going to win this week's Arnold Palmer Invitational. Leave your Twitter handle so we can get a hold of you, and we're going to give away 5 on Monday year-long subscriptions to SportsLine. All right, it's time for our board today. We start with our SportsLine app play of the day. We're going right back to that A-10 tournament that Maestro was just talking about. Dayton, -4 over Rhode Island. In our simulations, they cover 55% of the time. Our guy, Matt Severance, is also on the Flyers. He got them at -3. That means this line is going up. Get the number right now. Flyers over Rhode Island. That's a 3:30 Eastern tip, by the way. All right, M Squared, give it to me.
All right, Coach, we mentioned that Toronto Raptors game and all the injuries they're dealing with. I am on the Boston Celtics -8 in this spot here. This is a rough spot for the Toronto Raptors. They're on the second night of a back-to-back. They're only going to have 8, maybe 9 active players tonight for this game, while Boston is at full strength. Last day before the All-Star break, very easy for them to just kind of mail this one in here. My simulations make it -10.8 for the Celtics. I like it here at -8 quite a bit. I'd probably play it up to -8.5, -9 if it gets there. But I like it a lot at -8. And then the second game for me is going to be the Pelicans -2.5 against the Miami Heat. This is another highly specific spot. Normally, I would look to fade this Pelicans team on the second night of a back-to-back. However, Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo both on the injury report. If you go look around at your sportsbook, you're probably not going to find any player props on this game. That is a very strong indication that both of these players are highly questionable, which makes a lot of sense because it's the last day before the All-Star break. So I'm going to go with them potentially at least one of them sitting in the spot. This is a TNT game. That's good news for someone like Zion Williamson, who's really turning it on right now and really wants to show out for the national audience. Give me the Pelicans -2.5. I make it -4.7 in my simulations with a slight hedge with both players still in, and it should be -5, 5.5 if both of those guys sit for the Miami Heat.
So you're saying regardless of if Jimmy Butler and Bam play, you would play the Pelicans here no matter what?
Yes, I'm playing the Pelicans at -2.5 as it sits right now. And again, that number balloons up to about -5.5 if they both sit.
All right, very good. All right, Maestro, the floor is yours. Go ahead, sir.
Okay, Coach, talked about that early start and Richmond, coming off that loss to St. Joe's where Francis fell on his back, was not able to play in the second half. Doesn't look like he's going to go today. And also they have a 6'10" forward, Golden, who's playing with a broken finger. Those are two really key guys for Richmond. Duquesne, the first matchup, they lost by 7, but they were coming off a long COVID pause. Take the points with Duquesne. I took 5.5, started at 6. It's coming down, and that's the first play of the day. And then UCF going to East Carolina. East Carolina has not played in almost a month. They are actually started 7-1. Then they've gone 1-7. UCF has won 3 straight. Covered 4 straight. This number is going up. UCF a slight favorite. I still like them. And then Texas Tech, I just don't think should be laying this many points to Iowa State. As bad as Iowa State is, 17 points. Texas Tech is 2-10 ATS at home, 4-12 as favorites against the number. Too many points, even with how bad Iowa State is. And then finally, in the NBA, I'm going to look at the Portland-Sacramento game. Both teams played last night. The Kings, though, did not cover, gave up 120 to the Lakers without LeBron, without Anthony Davis, and they have now just covered one of their last 12 games. That's the Kings. Portland has already beaten them twice. This number sitting around 4.5 or 5. I really like Portland to get it done. Also, Sacramento without Halliburton and Whiteside.
Oh, I love those plays today. Okay, we are up against it. So grab your paper, grab your pencil. Here we go, Jeweler. All right, the recap looks like this. M squared, he's on the Celtics -8 over the Raptors. Again, most of the Raptors team not available to play tonight, maybe playing with 7 or 8 guys is all for Toronto. And then the Pelicans, -2.5 over the Heat. Jimmy Butler and Bam, highly questionable for that game last day before the All-Star break. Then the Maestro, he's on 4 games today. Trailblazers -4.5 over the Kings. UCF's -3 over East Carolina. That Duquesne game, it's going to be tipping off in less than an hour. So you got to get it in, +5.5. And Iowa State +17 against Texas Tech. And our SportsLine app, play of the day, the Dayton Flyers, -4 over Rhode Island in that A-10 tournament. You've got your marching orders. It's Bounce Back Thursday. We take this serious. Take every single ticket straight to the pay window. For M Squared, for the Maestro, for Chief, for the Jeweler, let's go. The only place for your daily early edge. Good luck.